Hi guys, this is Frederick from Crypto Hall 24. Today we are here with the Kaspa guys on the WDMS in Las Vegas, the Bitcoin conference. And yeah, we are going to have a very interesting and nice interview with these guys here. And yeah, I would say before I talk too much, we just go straight into it. Guys, how are you doing?
Great.
Good.
Perfect.
Tired.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah. The time difference to the west side here is actually a little bit exhausting. I think going the other way around for us, it's much easier.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But anyhow, who are you guys? I mean, introduce yourself to the people. Yeah.
So I'm Shai. I'm one of the original contributors to the Ghost protocol, and I've been going with Kaspa ever since, especially since its launch. And I've been doing all sorts of stuff, writing, educating, writing posts, helping with the research, helping with business ventures. And here I am trying to spread the word and tell the world about Kaspa.
Yeah, and before we jump to you, what is your background? So, are you an engineer, a software developer? What is your...
No, I don't write code for Kaspa. I used to work. I guess my most relevant background is that I just submitted my PhD in computer science. I can't call myself a doctor yet, but I already got the approval of the judges. There is a bit more procedure. And so I studied math, I studied computer science, and I applied this background to help develop this and implement this Ghost protocol. I haven't written any production code. I write like proof of concept simulation code, but all of the production code in the Go and in the Rust nodes of Kaspa was written by other people. I did help some of the design and the architecture in some of the aspects of the system though.
Cool, yeah. And now we're coming to you, Luke.
Well, it's a hard task to go after the wizard of the room just described himself. But I am merely an ambassador for the Kaspa project, but a volunteer, and all of the guys that sort of are involved with Kaspa are volunteers. But I essentially look after. I have a man of many hats. One of those is sort of the community outreach, so bringing more local acceptance of Kaspa in Australia, which is where I'm based, but also the world. So creating these type of connections with people like yourself, and setting up conversations and collaborations and just growing the community. That's my focus really.
Cool. Yeah. And now you guys are here in Las Vegas. Bitman invited you to be here to spread everything. We just talked about it. Bitman, they really love the Kaspa project, and I think we can expect much more from them when it comes to miners in the future. But we talk later about it. Let's talk a little bit about Kaspa. I mean, probably some of the people who watch this video know Kaspa, but maybe in one or two sentences, what is Kaspa?
It's the end game for layer ones. It's the proof of work to end all proof of work. It's just, we took Bitcoin, which was an amazing achievement on its own, and we took 10 or 12 years worth of experience and lessons learned, and we used them and some ingenuities, mostly devised by Jonathan Sompolensky, who came up with the Ghost protocol, as well as the Ghost protocol and the Spectre protocol. And we used all of this knowledge and all of this experience, or our personal experience and the experience of the crypto industry as a whole, to create what the best thing we could create. And as I explained in my talk today, I think it's essentially, it hits all the marks of what you would want from a decentralized network.
Yeah, cool. And what would you guys say? What is the main use for Kaspa?
The main use for Kaspa?
Yeah.
For the main use for Kaspa, I suppose right now is it's a transaction coin. But into the future, we want it to be, as Shai mentioned, we want it to be the most robust, most secure, most scalable, and fastest layer one in the world. We want to be it. We want to be the place that, you know, the layer 1 functions will occur, and, you know, maybe other projects will benefit from that. So they can use us for whatever they want, and definitely a lot of potential industries that may have considered using crypto in the past, but have had limitations based off, you know, finality and the time related to that. Will consider Kaspa as being their platform that they'll use to run their functions off. So, I mean, when people say what's the focus on Kaspa, it's really on being everything, doing everything, and being the best at it. Yeah. I don't know if I summed that up. Shai might add some more value to that as well, but
I don't think you could go beyond everything.
That's it.
Yeah. It could be the layer 1 that everything runs atop it. It's spacious enough and performant enough and cheap enough to use and to participate in, to just be the layer 1. I think if it reaches the adoption that it could reach, then it could be the only layer 1 the world needs.
Yeah, and I think one buzzword here is especially decentralization, because all the other projects were of this type of scalability and whatever, they are really centralized, and this is actually not the nature of crypto or of blockchain.
And it's the ethos of Kaspa that brings it the most value as well. The fair launch nature and the open source nature of the project is also really critical as well, because at the end of the day, and as we said probably off camera, there's no business, there's no foundation that are controlling what Kaspa does. It's all, we're volunteers, we're people that love the project, and we just get involved. And so I think that really differentiates us from all of the other projects out there who are maybe doing amazing things in their own right, but they're a business.
Actually,
No, I just would say that Kaspa, it hits every form of decentralization that you can think of. It's not just that the protocol is decentralized. The high BPS makes the mining very decentralized. The mining emission makes the coin spread very decentralized. The fair launch model makes the development of the coin very decentralized, and we work very hard to make the knowledge, to decentralize the knowledge as much as we can. Kaspa is it's like a rare metal that you can send through the internet. That's what it is. And there is no foundation, nobody controls Kaspa. Everyone can take it in every direction they can. And we work very hard to make sure that there aren't any KOLs or like benevolent dictators that completely control where the coin goes. We want it to be just like Bitcoin, a thing.
And maybe a stupid question, but do you see Kaspa as the next payment method?
Yes.
I mean, it's a start, I guess.
I mean, that's my personal opinion. As I said, I want to see it everywhere, and I want to see it do everything, and I do believe that it can do everything. So yes, my answer. But Shai might add some more nuance to that, or I don't know, some color potentially.
I think that nobody thinks that you can fit the entire world economy on a layer 1.
Yeah.
Right? That's a fool's errand.
Yeah.
But even if you want to do like a layered solution, you are only as good as the layer 1 you are running on. And if you want to do a layer 2 payment solution, which is fast and secure, and you don't have it, you don't even must have the layer 2 to be as decentralized. But if you want it to be fast and secure, then you have to run it on a layer 1 that is fast and secure and decentralized. So you could do centralized things over it. You could do decentralized things over it. You could do a lot of stuff that are layered, but essentially the layer 1 is what provides you with the speed and what provides you with the security.
Yeah. And besides being a payment solution, what other use cases you see for Kaspa?
I can see it used for tokenization of existing markets that right now don't have a good platform. I can see it used essentially any layer 2 that you can think of, and whatever it does, I can imagine it running over Kaspa. So it could be used for everything, starting from funny meme coins and fun and games, all the way to full-blown smart contracts and anything you can do with a consensus.
Yeah. So talking about KRC20 maybe, do you have a timeline for that? How far? I know that you are really close before. I mean, you did some very successful tests with everything. What is the status of?
Who's you? Take this look.
I do want to just stress before we answer that question that KRC20 obviously is a great protocol that's coming out on top of Kaspa, but it has no connection with the core Kaspa team. So when you ask that question, we can speculate. We may be a little bit more in the know than some of the other guys, but at the end of the day, they run their own ship. They're building their own token platform with KRC20, and in the future KRC721, which will be NFTs, but they run that sort of operation. Obviously, some of the guys from Kaspa may add some consulting maybe every now and again, but we don't have an overlap of our developers from the Kaspa team.
So you are not involved with everything, so it's
completely separate. There is no Kaspa, I know we don't like the term core, but team from Kaspa who are working actively on any Kasplex projects in a developer sense.
It's the other way around, we like the term core, we don't like the term team.
Okay, all right.
We have core developers, those are people that work on the core code, but there is no core team. And I think this is a nice illustration of what I said just a minute ago, that Kaspa is very decentralized, the development is decentralized. Some other team wanted to create KRC20, so they went and did it. And they are in control of it. I am keeping my tabs on it because I'm interested about anything that happens on Kaspa, but I don't know to answer anything about the timeline and what to expect exactly, and that's by design. I think it's good to keep our distance for the centralization.
And I mean, it's also important to stress that it is a great thing to be built on top of Kaspa, but there may be other organizations that come out with their own version of what they think tokens should look like on Kaspa, and we welcome it. It doesn't need to be a KRC20 is the only one, which to be frank, it's amazing that they're doing that, and we welcome this type of activity on the chain or on the block DAG, you know what I mean? But it's
but I mean, it doesn't matter at all, because the more people do with Kaspa, doesn't matter who it is, what it is, whatever, the more it will contribute to the network. And I mean, we are here for mining reasons. And the more usage there is, the higher the Kaspa price will be, and also the more profitable the mining of Kaspa will be.
One person wins with Kaspa, we all win, right? So if it brings more adoption, it brings more awareness, and it brings more acceptance of it as the layer one, then we all win together. So
where do you see Kaspa in 1 to 5 years? I mean, it's very, very hard to say, but I'm very curious about the future outlook, especially when you say, okay, there everywhere around there are people who are doing something on Kaspa. How do you see the development?
I think that's a Shai question.
Well, I famously don't answer when questions. I don't, and this is like a when question in disguise, right? But where do I see it in 5 years? So hopefully, I will keep being continuously surprised by where the community takes this thing, and even in 5 years from now, we still every day would look like 2 months ago, and would say, "Oh wow, that was just 2 months ago." Because that is my experience. The ante is always upping, and the stake always get higher, and the community is always getting stronger, to the extent that I look just a bit into the back and I'm like, we were so small then, look at us now. And I think this is a trajectory that we are gonna hang on to now. What does this say in practice? It's up to the imagination and the creativity and the talent of the community, and that's exactly how I like it. I don't want to sketch a way for anyone to follow. I want people to find their own way on this extremely generic thing. So I would be sad if I could tell you what I think should happen in 5 years. I am here for the ride, and I want to see what happens.
But I don't know, maybe it sounds stupid, but that's exactly what differs you from projects like Cardano or Solana or whatever. That everything is quite open.
We famously don't have a roadmap. There's no roadmap. There's no timeline, and that's intentional.
Who are we to decide what the world is going to do with Kaspa? We can only suggest.
Actually, that's a quite different approach when it comes to mining, because so with other projects, so for example when it comes to Bitcoin, I mean there's no entity behind Bitcoin. Still though you can project, I mean now you can really project the future outcome, for example, of Bitcoin mining and the development of Bitcoin. And when it comes to a project like, I don't know, or for example with Ethereum, there was the switch from proof of work to proof of stake, and it was predictable because there was a roadmap and everything was clear, and the miners, they knew what's going to happen. And with Kaspa, the case is actually it's quite open. Still though, I mean, we already talked about it. We love Kaspa. We really believe in the project, and that's why we are sitting here. And I really see a huge potential for Kaspa mining as well. And I mean, it's actually quite interesting because Kaspa mining right now is probably one of the most profitable coins to mine ever.
I think so, yeah.
I mean, what's quite interesting though is the emission schedule, that there's the around 5-6% reduction every month. How do you see, I mean, it's also a when, maybe not a when question, but how do you see the future of Kaspa mining in general?
I think we'll see.
Luke is the miner here.
Look, I mean, as a miner, I see, you know, well into the future there being great opportunities for mining of Kaspa. You know, obviously we do have a rapid emission schedule, and what that has done is that's intentionally made, you know, large amounts of Kaspa into the hands of a lot of different types of people. So the CPU miners, the GPU miners, the FPGA miners, well before the ASICs arrived.
Yeah.
Although it is a very rapid period, it has achieved that, and that's gotten that out there. But you know, we're going to see into the future great opportunities to continue to be profitable regardless of whether there is still emissions.
Yeah.
So, you know, through transactions or through probably some things that Shai might be able to add some value to, but there'll be definitely opportunities for miners. And we're not looking to get rid of them at any point. Like we're here for the good.
Yeah, and it could happen in many different ways.
Yeah.
Like it's a point that is coming up a lot lately.
Yeah.
I think it's maybe the fourth time today that I'm saying it.
Security budget.
The security budget. So there are two misconceptions. One is that you only get fees when the network is congested. That's not true. I explained it so many times today, I'm not going to do it again, but the math is really interesting, and essentially the parallelism, the high parallelism of Kaspa implies mathematically that assuming miners are rational, you don't need like any sort of altruism. You just assume that all miners, all they want to do is maximize their profits. Then you see that the parallelism has this very neat mathematical effect that the fee market is much more well behaved, and especially it doesn't need to be remotely close to congested to incentivize users to pay fees. And that's one thing. And another thing is that if you have large projects that are not about creating a coin as a medium of payment, but some other stuff that is related to the outside world, like energy or cars or whatever market you want, and you want you want to be able to say to your users that your coin is running on a secure network, then this gives you an economic incentive to contribute to the security budget in a way that is different from fees. So this entire conception that fees are the only source of security budget besides coin rewards and subsidies, I think it's time to challenge it. And I think we are in a place to challenge it because we can have a lot of stuff on our network. And some of this stuff would want to add to the security budget, but they are not the fee revenue creating kind of projects, so they would contribute in other ways. And another completely tangential way is optical miners. We are not developing them, but I think they might emerge at some point. I know there are teams that are working on them. And the trick here is to make your mining as much capex as possible. You want most of your expenditure to go on capital and not on operation, because then first you have hardware scarcity instead of energy scarcity. And so people which have your hardware are motivated to keep mining, and because things are very energy efficient and the miners are cheap to operate and they're cheap to store and they last much longer. And the important thing is that if most of the expenditure is about hardware, then you don't give much of an advantage to miners that have access to cheaper energy. If it's miners that are in locations where there's excess energy, or if it's miners that have the means to create huge operation and cut energy deals, they don't get a lot of advantage over it, which is really good for the mining to remain decentralized. And this is along with the high blocks per second, which also decentralizes mining a lot.
And that's a really good jumping off point. I mean, in the context of mining, the ability to have home miners still have a high chance of hitting a block. Because at the moment we're doing a block every second, but in very soon it'll be 10 blocks every second, and in the future there could be 100 blocks every second. So that greatly decentralizes the network, because that means that unlike Bitcoin, where you need to come in and have ridiculous amounts of hash rate to solo mine, you can have people who spin up a node on a Raspberry Pi or a $100 single board computer, and they can solo mine to their own node and get paid out every coin that block reward has straight into their wallet. They're not paying a pool, but they might have a miner that's only 1 terahash or even 300 gigahash. It doesn't matter.
Today on 1 VPS, you need a capex of about I think $600 or $700 to see a block every day. To see, you'd have daily income, and when we go to 10 VPS, even if the hash rate is 10 times higher, you would still need this amount of capex to see a block every day. In Bitcoin, you have 144 blocks a day, right? So you can't have more than 144 solo miners or pools that see daily income. In Kaspa, in 10 BPS, you have 864,000 blocks a day. You could have almost 1 million miners, solo miners / pools that see daily income, and that's the difference.
Actually, that's a great point, because so we are located in Germany, and Germany is famous for having the highest energy prices. Still though, even if you plug in your miner with your normal private household electricity rate, it's still profitable. And that's absolutely amazing, and that's also the reason why we deep dived so much into Kaspa, because the demand in the German-speaking area, even in the European area, was very, very high. Because it was profitable. I mean, when it comes to Bitcoin, forget it. You have to be an institutional miner, or you have to use one of our mining farms to be profitable, because there's a very, very high chance that you don't earn any money if you run a Bitcoin miner at home.
You have to have a giant box making a ton of noise, using a ton of energy, and generating a ton of heat. But in contrast to that, you might buy a home Kaspa miner, something from one of the manufacturers that makes a nice small box. You can stick in the corner. It maybe uses 300 watts. And you're still going to generate Kaspa frequently.
And even if it's a little bit symbolic, but for example, we all in our office, we have the Ice River K0 and the KA boxes.
That's it.
That's a very nice flex, because every time someone comes into the office, we are saying, hey, this is a Kaspa miner.
It's it's creating that Kaspa into your wallet every day.
But actually, we talked, one little thing you talked about, we are reaching 10 blocks per second very, very soon. You said, I'm not sure if it's confidential or not, you said you were running a testnet for 6 months now without any problem.
Confidential? It's completely in the open. Everyone can join it.
It's completely open.
But I don't know how much you want to talk about it. But it's going very great, isn't it?
It's going very well.
We stressed it for 3,000 TPS and over. Like the maximum is 3,000. We stress it over just to see how well the mempool can react to very high loads. And we find that even machines that are running on like $100 hardware, can handle mempools queues of like 650,000 transactions, and we went this high because there was a lot of commotion during this time that the Bitcoin queue reached 400,000 transactions, and it caused nodes to fail. So we wanted to see that we can go above that. So this was like a temporary thing for like a few days, but we've been running on 2,000 to 2,400 TPS continuously for 5 months now, and it's been going very smoothly.
Yeah. So let's go back to Kaspa Mining. So I have the graph open here from Minerstat, which shows the hash rate of the Kaspa network. And when we go 1 year back, we had exactly 1.18 petahash of hash power in the Kaspa network. If I go to the current day, we are close before hitting 350 petahash of network hash rate. I mean, that's a lot. It's like 300x within 1 year. I mean, it's normal when ASICs come to a network that the hash rate increases, but it increased a lot. Still though, Kaspa Mining is super profitable. Yeah. Normally when the hash rate floods a new project, the coin is getting very unprofitable. With Kaspa, that's not the case. Anyhow, how do you see the future of the hash rate? Do you think it's going to skyrocket even more? It's going to be linear? It's hard to project, but so for the people who are watching this video, who are miners, this is a very interesting question. So.
Yeah, well, I think if you consider an ideal ASIC market, then this kind of rise is to be expected, because as the technology advances, it becomes cheaper to get the same hash rate. So people think that when you buy an ASIC, you buy like a device, a product. That's not true. That's not the right way to think about it. When you buy an ASIC, you buy a fraction of the network. And if a year later that ASIC gives you a fraction that is 10 times smaller, then it means that the ASIC is worth 10 times less. So pricing ASICs is hard, but I know it's hard to make this switch in your mind, but when you buy an ASIC, even though you get a literal physical box to your home, you're not buying a box. You're buying a stock option or a bundle of stock options. And that's what an ASIC actually is, and this is how it should be priced. So the thing is that the hash rate increases, the prices of ASICs per terahash decrease, but what's important is that the total capex increases. Like if you look at the current prices of a terahash multiplied by the total hash rate, this is the thing that should be always on the increase. And that if you take into account that technology tends to increase exponentially, like every month the hash rate, the terahash becomes twice cheaper, then you would expect this capex to rise linearly, which is, I didn't do the math completely, but from the samples I've seen, this is essentially what we see. So the capex now is around $350 million, and I expect it to just keep rising steadily. And this is really, looking at hash rates and looking at ASIC prices, it could be very confusing. And it's hard to find the right metric, and the math is really quite hard, actually. You can find interesting papers. There is a paper by Aviv Yaish and Aviv Zohar about how ASICs should be mined. I think it's an interesting read for any miner should at least read the intro to this paper, because I see a lot of people that are salty about the devaluation of their miners, and they shouldn't be, because it's not that the miners devalued. It's because they bought their miner early, they bought a more lucrative stock option, and that's what they pay for, and they got what they pay for. The fact that they got their ASIC earlier and joined the network when this ASIC represented a larger fraction of the hash rate, this is what they paid for. So they got what they paid for. And if you really want to look at how the network progresses, then just looking at the global hash rate is not the correct metric because it doesn't take into account the improvement in the technology. What you really want to look at is the capex, is the average cost of a terahash times the total terahashes, and this is something that in a healthy network should increase linearly till at some point it reaches an equilibrium. You actually start to reach the limit of the scarcity of the hardware, the global scarcity. And I think we are in a very healthy trajectory in this sense.
Yeah. By the way, this is a very interesting way to look on it. You buy stock options, but actually, yeah, it's true. Yeah.
It's something a bit more complicated than a stock option. It's what's called an option bundle, but it's mathematically well defined. The analysis is there, and I really think any miner should read the intro to this paper to get a better understanding, at least of why thinking about ASIC pricing is hard.
Yeah. By the way, we will put the link to this paper in the video description. Yeah. Yes, very, very, very interesting. By the way, do you mine yourself?
Yes.
Yeah. No. Actually, you should get a little home miner. It's so amazing to have it on the side of the of your desk at home.
Yeah,
you really should do.
Yeah. Maybe,
actually, they became very cheap. So, for example, the Ice River KS0 Ultra, it's a new Kaspa home miner with 400 gigahash. I don't know what the price right now is, but
it's cheap.
There are great discounts at the moment from Kaspa. I mean, we talked about it. So the miner prices at the moment, they are very, very, very good. I mean, there's much more hash rate coming right now, but still though, it's very nice that Bitmain, I hope no one from Bitmain is listening now, but it's very nice that Bitmain has a direct competitor, Ice River, who is doing the Kaspa miners, which is great because they have to fight a little bit when it comes to pricing, you know.
And now Gold Shell.
Gold Shell as well, yeah.
Gold Shell as well, right? I think healthy competition is great in every scenario. Right, and so the more miners that can come out from different manufacturers, the better, and it really just encourages more focus on getting the products out to the people and having a competitive approach. So,
and I would even say that Bitmain wasn't enough of a competition for Ice River because they didn't tap into the home miner market at all.
Yeah.
So now we have Gold Shell to compete with Ice River on the home miners, which would be very good in my opinion.
And I mean, that's the focus as well. I mean, we want everyone to be able to mine. You know, we don't just want to have these giant boxes. And when I say we, I mean, I'm just speaking for myself here personally, but, you know, I don't want to just see Kaspa miners that are, you know, $45,000. I want to see those home miners, those cool little boxes, the K8 box, the KS0 Ultra, the whatever, that you can run in the corner and you say, hey, that's making a little bit of coin every day, and it's generating a little bit of heat and does the job. So.
True. So unfortunately, Chad had to go to another meeting, but I'm still here with Luke, and we will continue the conversation. Actually, we talked about it when the camera was off. Completely different topic. When do you think is Kaspa being listed on exchanges like Binance and Coinbase? Because we just checked CoinMarketCap, and when it comes to the market capitalized cap, Kaspa is on number 25 of all cryptocurrencies. And it's not, as you said, not top tier.
It's the only coin in the top 100 that is not on a tier 1 exchange. The only coin.
So in my opinion, we just talked about it. It's only a matter of time. Maybe you should. I just said it. Maybe we should buy more Kaspa right now.
I mean, that's nice, but look, I mean, in my opinion, it's looking positive. I mean, personally, and I'm not speaking from some inside scoop or some sort of alpha, but in my opinion, I just think it's only a matter of time. I have no doubt, based off all of the amazing tech that's been built by the wizards like Shai and Michael Sutton and Jonathan and you know those type of guys. Like, I have no doubt in my mind that we're not building something amazing here, and it's just a matter of time.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. But actually, you said something very interesting about being listed on big exchanges like Binance.
Well,
so how does it work to get listed? You said they may approach you, they just do it without you knowing.
We've had like many exchanges that will just list us and we have no clue. Overnight you wake up and there's a new post on Twitter and some new exchange in some country that, you know, said, hey, we just did it. We did the integration work. We put you on our exchange and we provided access to your coin to our users. But I mean, there's a couple of different ways and to kind of speak back on historical situations, you know, back in the day when Kaspa wasn't so big, there was some situations where we had to raise money to get us onto those exchanges, and it was a very transparent and open process. But essentially, the community came together and they said, "Hey guys, look, there's this exchange that have been they might have reached out to us and said, look, we want to take a chance with you guys, but we need some money to do so." And so in those type of situations, I'm talking the early days of Kaspa.
Talking about 2022?
Yeah, I mean, just at the beginning, right? At the beginning. And the community came together, I think primarily on the Discord and the Telegram groups, and they donated their money, and what that did was that enabled us to get on those exchanges. But as we've grown and as we've grown astronomically throughout the process, we've hit a point where we don't pay for any listings. We don't pay for any marketing. We don't pay for anything. If they want us, they want us. And that's the beauty of the system now, because you know, we have a lot of people and a lot of organizations that will reach out to us and say, hey, we love your project and we want to help you grow, and the next thing inevitably is, and it's going to cost you X amount of money, and we go, well, the response is no. You know, if you want to benefit from Kaspa, then you benefit from it by listing it on your platform and making it available to your users. And you know, that's the common trend for all of the exchanges that will still approach us nowadays, and we're in a position where we can say no. Like as you said, we're number 25 on CoinMarketCap.
That's crazy.
That is just in itself, I think, what's that, like $3.7 billion market cap currently around there? But
it's 3.4.
Yeah, 3.4. You know, and that's a project that launched like 2 years ago, right? We've grown through the bear market.
Yeah.
And not a lot of projects can claim that, especially, you know, in this type of scenario. So, you know, we're in a pretty good spot where we can say no, and people will just list us anyway. And the big question is going to be like, you know, when Binance, when Coinbase, etc. But really, we have no idea. You know, they operate in mysterious ways, the tier one exchanges. They do what they want to do, and you know what, even if we did raise $1 million to try and throw at them, they don't care, because they list when they want to list. And it is what it is. There's nothing you can do about it. So it just works that way.
Yeah, very interesting. So anything else you would like to say to someone who is interested in Kaspa or Kaspa mining?
I just got to say, there's a lot of big things coming this year, and it's not that I'm giving away anything secretive, but you know, with the launch of KSC20 that's coming very soon, so tokens on Kaspa, you know, and the potential, the next one from the Kasplex guys is the KSC 721. So as I said maybe earlier, it's NFTs. You know, these are all things that are going to bring much more activity to the network. They're going to bring much more function, and they're going to sort of be that stepping stone to the future of smart contracts. You know, I want to clarify though that they are not smart contracts. They are enabling smart contract-like features, but they are not true smart contracts. And smart contracts will come in the future. When? I cannot answer that, because even I don't know, but they will come in the future, and when they come, they will be well worth the wait.
Yeah. But maybe this is an interesting ending of the conversation, because when you buy a Kaspa miner now, I mean, the hash rate is gonna increase a lot. Still though, we are in a phase, we are in front of the bull market, and even with more functionalities, in Kaspa through KRC 20 or whatever. My opinion, it's still a very great thing for mining.
I still think that we're early.
Yeah.
We're just seeing the start of something even bigger, right? Like we've been talking all day to a whole bunch of different people, but we're sort of calling this year, it's like the Kaspa World Tour. We're getting out there. We're getting some of the guys that are passionate about Kaspa, like myself, like Rue Barbarian or Chad or Wolfie or any of the other guys, and we're getting out and about to every single event that we can get to, and to talk to people like yourself and just share with them why we love Kaspa.
Yeah. Cool.
That's it.
Yeah. Very cool. Yeah, guys, I would say I hope you really enjoyed the conversation. All the information for Kaspa, etc., are in the video description. And yeah, if you have more questions about Kaspa, or if you want to learn more about the project, you should follow Luke on Twitter.
Yeah.
And if you are interested in buying Kaspa mining hardware, I mean, we are the perfect partner for you. And I would say, have a nice day and hope to see you soon.
Awesome. Thank you. It's
Thank
been
you,
a
Luke.
pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cheers.